Gucci music, the hottest in the world. I'm not a perm, but I'm straight. I'm not relate. Couldn't them go relate.
Hey, it's Krissie Bee, your friendly neighborhood journalist of Hood More Than America. Y'all, welcome back to our new season. Y'all know I told you I was going to have all new episodes with all new guests, some people that we haven't heard of, some people we haven't heard from. My whole goal is to let everybody tell their story in their own words in a comfortable setting. So it's like I have like numbers and numbers of shows where we have like group settings and stuff like that, but I feel like you really aren't going to get to know exactly the deep stuff about somebody until you get them by themselves. So these are our one-on-one sit-downs, and today I have my new friend and an author. She writes books and shit. That's what I'm gonna make her a shirt that says I write books and shit. But she writes books and shit. So Miss Ayla, hey. So tell everybody exactly who you are and all the things that make you great.
Everything. So my name is Ayla Williams. Born in McKinney, raised in Plano. I would say all the things about me that are great is I can do anything I put my mind to. Like, I'm all over the place. I can write raps, I can write books, I can fix things, I can do everything.
Okay, so let's talk about writing, because we did kind of cover it a little bit whenever I first met you, but let's dive deep into that. Like, where did writing come from? Like, what is writing for you?
It's a healing place for me. I started writing when I was about 7 years old. My mom started writing me journals. Mm-hmm. So it started with me writing like little snippets of journals every day. And as I got older, my journals got longer, of course, because
right,
life grows as we grow.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day I was like, I could really turn my journal into a book. So that's where that came from. And I was like, just let me try it. Just wrote a book and published it.
Let's talk about your book.
Okay, so I have one. It's called Unwarranted Circle. That's my first book. It's actually a biography of my life.
Okay.
It touches bases on a lot of things that I think that a lot of people deal with on a day-to-day basis that they're not comfortable speaking about.
Okay.
So I try to create a comfort space to let people know that they're not alone with dealing with things like whether it's in the family or outside the family, as far as like sexual trauma, trauma from losing family, grief, even emotions that you feel from being adopted.
Right.
Just things that I felt people could relate to that I went through.
So with writing your biography, meaning, that it happened, it's true, was there like backlash from family because you're touching on some trauma? And so was it like, first off, did family read? And second off, how did family receive it if they were in the book? You feel me? Or the point of the book?
First of all, let me just say that my support system, I don't think anybody in my family has read my book.
Okay.
There's a couple people that know about my book in my family.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say if the shoe fits, wear it.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't my concern. My concern was me, my healing place, and how many people that I could reach. I didn't use, of course, real names.
Of course.
But people know who they are.
Gotcha.
So.
It's like some SVU stuff. We changed the names, but the story is real.
Dum-dum.
Facts. Okay, so how has your book been received? Like, have people been, what are the reviews of your book so far?
So far the reviews that I've gotten have been all good reviews. People didn't know that I was that type of person because I always walk around with a smile. And they were like, man, I'm sorry you went through that. Like, I'm sorry life was like this for you. I'm sorry life was like that for you. But I'm just like, I don't want sympathy.
Right.
I appreciate it, but I don't want sympathy. I actually had somebody reach out to me and was like, I appreciate you for using your voice and giving me a safe space, feeling like I don't have to hold my emotions in and I can be comfortable sharing them with someone close to me or someone else that could actually use me.
Right.
So
when in writing the book and saying that, like, whenever I know that it was tough to write on whenever we say we go through traumas. So were you able to just sit down and write it through and through? Or how long did it take you to write that first book?
So I actually wrote the first copy of my book about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
it was a 3-year process. Only because seeing something on paper, like, you're able to hide your emotions and tuck them away and act like they're not there. But when you physically get a piece of paper and a pen and you write it down and you're looking at it and you're like pouring your heart out, it's hard. So I had to take like a lot of mental health breaks, and I'm like, am I even healed enough to even get this story on paper? And if I do, am I just gonna put it away, or am I gonna be comfortable putting it out there?
Right. You touched a lot on journaling, and that's how I am. I've been journaling since I was a little kid. My journaling came from when I would tell people things, they would either, one, act like I was lying, or, like, now that I'm bigger, I know that it wasn't that you thought I was lying. You knew I was telling the truth, but you weren't ready to face that.
You invalidated my feelings.
Right. So we weren't ready to face that. So I figured, journaling was my only way to talk. So... exactly like you said, or just writing down everything. But I found myself, the older that I got, it was hard to read stuff that I wrote. So it was like I would write it, but then I would never go back and just like read my journal. But then when I started coming from a place of healing and like, I want to go back and read, like how was, because I would label mine month and year. Right. So it was just everything that happened in that whole month. So I can go back and read stuff, and it's just like, damn, that was a rough patch. That was a rough patch. But I couldn't imagine taking them all. Like I feel like what you said, it would take years, because that would be a lot of mental breaks to have to relive and reread what you really went through. It's different. It really does hit different. So I commend you for being able to do that, because I'm trying to heal from a lot. I feel like I'm healed from a lot of things, but that would be tough. I would feel like I was reliving it. So that's good that you did that, so that somebody else gets to hear that they're not alone.
Right.
I really like that.
That's the goal.
and what's next with your book? Where do you see yourself?
So I see myself being an award-winning book. I think I have a couple of steps to get there. Well, I know I have a couple more steps to take to get there, but I definitely know the end goal, and I know it's going to happen. I have written a second book, because I was like, how do you unleash all this on people and then not tell them how you made it through? Right. Like, if the whole goal is to help them, like, give them some steps, give them something. Because I'm one of those people, like, if I see something wrong with someone, I'm not going to go talk about you. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to be like, how can I help you, right? So I actually wrote a second book called Unwarranted Circle Reloaded. And it's a self-help fillable notebook.
The notebook. That's the one I wanted her to bring. I've been asking for this notebook.
I'm going to get it to you. I'm definitely going to get it to you.
We're going to keep it in here. We're going to need 2 copies, because I'm going to fill out my notebook. But we're going to keep one in here.
Right, because this is like your 3rd time asking me, but I'm going to do better. And I'm taking self-accountability for that right now.
Self-accountability.
Right.
Okay, so I know that you told your story already, so, and our story does keep on progressing, but do you see yourself writing about other things, or are you just going to stay in the lane of self-help and basically biographies and autobiographies?
So I really think that's going to depend on society. Right now, I feel like healing is deeper than just me. It's deeper than a few people around me. Our nation has to heal. You know what I'm saying? The world has to heal. And right now, it seems like there's so much happening to where everyone's trying to find a healing space right now. So as long as people need that directive, that's what I'm going to continue to do.
Okay, Miss Healer. Pop your shit. Heal the world, sis. Heal the motherfucking world.
One body at a time.
That should be your slogan. One body at a time.
It might be. Thank you.
Okay. So, you have such an amazing story and amazing voice. Do you see yourself being like a public speaker or advocating for anything?
I definitely want to be a motivational speaker. Or even a life coach. My aim would be more for our youth, though. Because, as we get older, sometimes we're stuck in our ways, right? Right. Or sometimes we're in denial about things. But if we can reach the youth, the people that are going to become our doctors, our psychiatrists and things like that, because they go through a lot. Like this, I'm not even going to lie, like this is the most depressed like generation I've ever seen, right?
I was just thinking that in my head, like we always say that kids can't be depressed, and it's like, how can a child not be depressed when the same reasons that you're depressed, we barely have money, we barely have that, affect this human? So how can you say that a child isn't depressed because of that when you're depressed because of that? Depression don't have an age limit. If you're alive and breathing and conscious enough to know what the hell is going on around you, you can be depressed.
Right.
And so I hate for adults to be like, what you sad about? You ain't got to do nothing. It's like,
you just got to go to school and that's it. No,
the same shit his mama's sad about is the same shit that he's sad about because he feels his mom's pain. So
right.
I feel that. So speaking to, I love the youth, and that's my niche, my people.
Because I got to copy them books and CDs.
Yes, I need you to write something. Because you said, because we're going to talk about ghostwriting and you writing raps and stuff. Because you snuck that in there a while ago.
Yeah.
But, just reaching the youth. So, if you had an organization that was you, what would it consist of for the youth?
It would consist of self-esteem, knowing what using your voice means. Because I always try to tell, like, my kids, like, you have the right to say what you mean and mean what you say. You don't have to hold your voice because you're a child. Or people say you're a child, you don't have a voice. You do. There's just a right and wrong way to do things.
Be respectful about
and there's a respectful way to do things. And if you truly believe in what you're saying and you truly believe it's right, stand on that by any means necessary.
We go back and forth with my family because of the way that I raise my sons.
Right.
Some of them get spicy sometimes, and I gotta get in their ass about that. However, you respectfully can say, with all due respect, I did not do that because I came from a place where whether you did it or not, if you said you was going to get popped in your mouth and because you said it wasn't you, I'm not taking a spanking because 11 motherfuckers didn't say that they did. I didn't do it. I wasn't here. I'm not getting whooped. And so respectfully, mine can say, hey, it wasn't me.
Right, you can't blame me for that. You're not going to blame me.
Go call my mom because no, you're not. Like, respectfully, but I feel that, like, again, voices and everything, that doesn't turn on when you're 18. Kids have a voice. Yeah. Listen to what they are saying. Yeah. We would prevent so much stuff that kids got to heal from if we just was listening to them whenever, you know what I mean?
Correct. That's how I feel about it.
Vibes, I like this. I like vibes. Okay, so let's talk about, we hit on the book, we hit on the authors and stuff. Let's talk about this writing raps and stuff. So you be writing this shit?
Yeah, on my own. Like, I write it with my son. I write it by myself. And my son sings, so. Yeah.
Which, the one in here?
Yeah.
You be singing and stuff? See, we're going to have to get you back. We're going to have to get you back on the show. Okay, because we got a radio station and we're going to talk.
Oh, wow.
Okay. But so the whole family musical?
Yeah.
Or talented in some kind of way, in some kind of creative way?
Right, correct.
Okay, I like this.
Yes.
It's giving talent. Okay.
I should have had him up there trying to be the Jackson 5.
I was going to say it's giving Jackson 5 because you did say Williams 5. It's giving Williams 5. So when you're writing, what's one song? What was the first song that you wrote?
A song for my brother.
Like a memorial song, or like?
Yeah. Because I had a hard time dealing with that, and like I said, writing kept me out of a lot of dark places. Kept me from a lot of dark thoughts.
So writing is healing. Period. Whether you're writing music or whether you don't be writing hot girl shit.
No, I don't even be on that because it's not even just my character, But hey, to each his own. I'm not knocking anybody.
To each their own.
Definitely.
So if you could write music for anybody right now, like whether it's mainstream or whatever, and like you have the credentials and the credits for it, who would you write for?
I'd rather do gospel, to be honest. Yeah, because God has brought me so far. He never took his hands off of me. All the days that I choose to wake up and I choose to show up, everything goes to him.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. So, out of writing like music or writing like literature and things like that, which one do you like more? Literature. Yeah? Definitely literature. Definitely literature. So, we already talked about your two projects that you do have out, the workbook, and we talked about the biography. And I know you're working on some other things.
I am.
We
you want to
talked,
know?
Well, we talked a little bit on the other show about some of the stuff that you were working on, but I want to update. How's that going?
So it's going. It's a process. But I'm excited because I'm about to have a book signing and a motivational / praise and worship event coming up in September, hopefully. I'll let that date be known as soon as possible, but I want it to be more of like a ministry instead.
I like that.
Like just so everybody can get in the spirit, feel the spirit, and even if they don't want to talk, share, or have an opinion or whatever the case may be, just praise God. You know what I'm saying? Or just be in your own space and meditate with a group of people who know that like you're being supported, whether you speak out loud or not.
I like that.
I want to turn my book into a movie, so I'm looking for some places to film. I'm not sure if I want to go back to the actual places or just use like improvs.
Right.
And then I also have a talk show that I want to do. Well, more of a reality show that I want to do.
I think we touched on that one a little bit. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that off camera because we're going to have a production meeting and stuff about that. Okay. But I'm just so proud of you because the first time I met you a year ago, it was an interview for other folks, and it was like I just kept saying, she over there quiet, but I know she do something too. I'm gonna ask, and you was like, I write books and stuff, and I was like, nah, this other stuff, and then you was just like, and I blah da 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 da, and I'm like, see. Gotta have her back on the show.
Because I was just there to support.
Yes,
you know?
And I love that. And I love that you wasn't trying to be PD'd in the camera like, and I do this too. But then whenever we did bring you back, it was like, oh my God, you do a lot of stuff. You do a lot of positive stuff. Yeah. And that's what's amazing because shout out to Black people that do positive things.
Amen.
Period. And so it's like your voice, it needs to be heard more. You do need to, like, I love it that now, like, you want to be an advocate. And I love it that you're writing. And I love it that it's going to be a play and your talk show and all. I just love all of it. It's like like it was a little caterpillar and now it's a butterfly.
I feel like I've watched myself grow. Like when you watch yourself grow, like it's an amazing feeling. Like every milestone, it may not be major, but every milestone you look in the mirror, you're like, that's me now. Like,
and I love it. And since you're talking about growth, we're gonna end it out. We're gonna let everybody know where they can find your books and where they can find any of your things on social media, but. Something, if you could tell the teenage you something, what would you tell teenage you?
I would tell them, like, no matter what you go through, always put God first. Even if you feel alone or you feel like your voice isn't be heard, always turn to God because He tells us that pain endure for a night. Joy cometh in the morning. He never said how many mornings we was going to have to endure, but He did make a promise that suffering was going to end. So, like, use your voice. Find your voice in God. Find your peace with God. And keep going. Like, wake up every day because you're loved.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's real good. That's real positive. Tell everybody where they can find your book.
Okay, you can find my books on Amazon, Unwarranted Circle and Unwarranted Circle Reloaded out now. They come in multiple formats. You can get the ebook if you prefer to use your phone or tablet. You can get the paper book and you can get the hardback book. So however you like.
You should have an audio book too.
I do for the first one.
Oh, okay.
For Unwarranted Circle, but
we need
not
that for the site.
Awesome. Okay. Unwarranted Circle I do, but not Reloaded. I don't.
Okay. And where can they find any of your other things that you do on social media?
So on Facebook, it's just Ayla Williams, Ayla Williams. On Instagram, it's Ayla Williams 2. And those are the only two social sites I use.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming to Hood Morning America.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so proud of you, girl.
Thank you.
Keep on going, and we're going to have you back because we need follow-ups on that reality show and everything. Y'all stay tuned for that for real.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for watching another episode of Hood Morning America. We'll be back next week. I'm Krissie Bee, your friendly neighborhood journalist, and we are signing out. Peace.